Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. We have a very big storm forming in the Southern Ocean this week, and it's going to be with us across the weekend and through next week as well. It is a really big system, and it's likely to drive in all sorts of weather, from big, strong, mild winds to very heavy rain on the west coast of the South Island that will turn to heavy snow in the mountains. And then as we go into the weekend and around about this time next week, we could be seeing a very cold southerly coming through with snow to much lower levels. So we'll try and make sense of it. There's a lot to talk about. We'll try and keep it simple. We'll kick off with Tuesday's animated wind map. And as you can see, here is the beginning of low pressure. This is going to be around for a while because it's going to deepen with another system down here in the Southern Ocean. But before it arrives, mild northerly winds coming down from around the subtropics. So it's not going to be freezing cold to begin with, and in fact foggy areas because of this northerly flow across the country. But over in Australia, in comes the southerly. So let's take a look at the snow for Aussie, because you got a bit. This is the 5-day snowfall map, and the heaviest snow around parts of Tasmania, where you're talking about 0.5 metre of snow coming in over the next 5 days. This is from Tuesday, from today for 5 days, and even getting snow right up around to the Sydney area, obviously in the mountains, but that's how far north that system is going for Australia. We'll show you the New Zealand snow map in a moment. It's more relevant for this coming weekend, but for New Zealand to kick off with, we've got the rain map, and this shows what we talked about in our Climate Watch update, that plenty of rain is coming back in, a more normal kind of winter weather pattern, or a June weather pattern. So in the North Island, for Waikato, which is in drought, you've got a split. You got sort of 25, 30 millimetres on the Hauraki Plains side, and the further south you go, the more you're getting into sort of 50, 60 millimetres. But the heaviest rain around Taranaki, Mount Ruapehu, and down around the Kapiti coast. But the main feature of rain, clearly the west coast, goes off the scale, over 300 millimetres possible there, and this is for the next 5 days. So that's going to accumulate. You'll certainly see why in a moment. So let's kick off with the maps. Here we are on Wednesday with the beginning of that rain, or the continuation on it, depends on how you look at it, but certainly rain pushing through here on the west coast with a west to northwest wind. Most of New Zealand not looking too cold with those temperatures, although you'll notice in the very south that blue line comes up. You notice the colder change more so around Tasmania and Victoria. By Thursday, it stays cold and wintry over here with that southerly enormous area of high pressure stretched north to south. Now, if that high was over Tasmania, we'd be getting a significant snowstorm in New Zealand on Thursday, but it's not. It's further to the west, and so that snowy southerly comes into Tasmania and clips Victoria. New Zealand gets a bit of snow, but not as much. Still a lot of rain falling on Thursday along that western side, and strong, maybe even gale force nor'westers through Cook Strait. Now we get to Friday. New Zealand has a windy westerly on Friday. That blue line goes further northwards, indicating the colder air is heading further northwards as well. So the South Island on Friday will be wintry. The North Island, windy westerlies. It'll still feel like autumn. And eastern areas, windy and even drier. But this storm down here is really starting to deepen. So as we go into the weekend, that's going to be the main feature, and it's going to bring with it this much colder southerly change. Westerlies here on Friday, southerlies just out at sea. That means snow is on the way. So here's the New Zealand snowfall map. This is the 3-day snowfall from Friday. So it covers Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And what you're seeing is a big burst of snow around the Southern Alps. Great news for the ski fields. Now we're talking here over 1 metre of snow, maybe 1.5 metres of snow coming through in just the 3-day period, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there's even more coming for next week as well. But this weekend, plenty of snow. Now, a lot of people want to know if it's going to snow in the main centres. It doesn't look highly likely because of the angle of the wind flow, more of a west to southwest flow than a south to southeast, which is what you really need to get snow in Christchurch and Wellington. No snow in Christchurch means no snow in Wellington, simple formula. But Dunedin, on the border, right on the borderline. The hill suburbs definitely are in for a running chance. And the further down you go, the Southland area, a chance of snow flurries, even as far south or as coastal as Invercargill. And the most likely areas for sea level snow around Fiordland. Milford Sound got a high chance of having snow fall to sea level there. So that is what we're thinking is the likely setup. And remember, this is only going through to the end of the weekend. The main sort of polar part of this system may not get into the North Island until early next week. So here we are on Saturday. As you can see, that huge area of low pressure down in the Southern Ocean, big west to southwest flow. But look, nor'westers on Saturday in the North Island, so that's not going to be freezing cold. In the South Island, westerlies. So again, that's not freezing cold. The worst of this weather is out here, clipping Tasmania, still a bit too further to the west from New Zealand. Now, as we get into Sunday, that's when the storm tracks closer to us, and 948 is very, very low air pressure, and all the isobars very typical of a storm like that. So windy and sort of mild for the North Island on Sunday, and then you've got snow flurries moving up the South Island, this big storm sending gales into the Tasman Sea, and very dangerous marine conditions and beach conditions along the western side of the country. And our final map is for Monday of next week. There's the storm. The wintry part of it is still out here to the side of us and coming in. So still Fiordland, still Southland. You're in the wintry portion of it here on Monday, but Canterbury may not be so bad with a west to northwest wind and fairly dry. So this does not look like a snow event into Christchurch and Wellington at this stage, or a really heavy snow event for that matter on the Canterbury Plains. It looks as though it's going to be more into the mountains, Southland, parts of Otago, and in the North Island, Central Plateau, the Desert Road, those areas there. So there's a lot to still work out. The size of this storm means it's going to take a long time to move through, at least a week and a half of this system around. And you're going to hear headlines about certain things. It's going to be changing around a bit. So keep up to date with our videos, the Met Service warnings and watches, and of course our highly hyperlocal forecasts, which will put up the snow symbol if snow is highly likely. But we think the heaviest snow will be above a few hundred meters, but still a chance for some sea level snow, Southland and Fiordland in particular. That's all from me for today. Back again on Wednesday with our next update.